So, some breaking news tonight. A blog post posted this evening by Chris Avellone, a video game writer who was accused a couple years ago of sexual assault by two different women, has been in a legal battle with these women for some time, was pretty much had his reputation tarnished, destroyed. It was pretty much blacklisted from the industry after all this went down. Well, he posted tonight, joint statement from Carissa Barrows, Kelly Bristol, and Chris Avellone. These are his two accusers. The parties resolved the matter and claims were dismissed with prejudice, pursuant to a confidential settlement that provides for a 7-figure payment that includes the return of the attorney fee award entered against Mr. Avellone in California. I understand that Ms. Barrows has requested to retract her comments to the media about me. I covered his story June of 2021 when he came forward and basically, he had been accused of sexual assault by a woman named Carissa Barrows, and he came out and said that he was not guilty, that he was going to fight against these claims that this woman had made, as well as another woman, Kelly Bristol. These two women had accused him of various horrible things, and I will get to that in a second. But he has now provided me, his lawyer has provided me, with a public statement from both Carissa Barrows and Kelly Bristol, who have basically said, we take it all back. He did not sexually assault us, etc., etc. And I'll read that in just a second. But I'll just read that first. It says, after engaging with Mr. Avellone, we have prepared the following statement. Mr. Avellone never sexually abused either of us. We have no knowledge that he has ever sexually abused any women. We have no knowledge that Mr. Avellone has ever misused corporate funds. Anything we have previously said or written about Mr. Avellone to the contrary was not our intent. We wanted to support women in the industry. In so doing, our words have been misrepresented to suggest specific allegations of misconduct that were neither expressed nor intended. We are passionate about the safety, security, and agency of women, minorities, LGBTQIA+ persons, and every other community that has seen persecution in the video game industry. We believe Mr. Avellone shares a desire to protect and uplift those communities. We believe that he deserves a full return to the industry and support him in those endeavors. Now, it's interesting that they say that that their words were misconstrued, because here are some of the things that Carissa posted to social media. Chris Avellone is an abusive, abrasive, conniving sexual predator. He got me blackout drunk on Midori sours on the company dime. He and two friends somehow got me back to my room, where he pounced in front of the other guys. They left after a few minutes, also drunk, and one of them told me what he had witnessed the next evening. I had very vague impressions that someone had made out with me when I woke up that morning, but thought it was a dream. When I asked Chris about it, he told me that I had eventually refused him. When more of the night came back to me, I realized the only reason I was able to refuse him in my blackout stupor was because I was on my period that weekend. The only reason. Now here's the statement, once again. Mr. Avellone never sexually abused either of us. We have no knowledge that he has ever sexually abused any women. We have no knowledge that Mr. Avellone has ever misused corporate funds. Anything we have previously said or written about Mr. Avellone to the contrary was not our intent. We wanted to support women in the industry. In so doing, our words have been misinterpreted to suggest specific allegations of misconduct that were neither expressed nor intended. They are passionate about the safety of women, etc., etc., and persecution of groups, which apparently don't include men who are wrongly accused of sexual assault. I'm sorry, but this sort of thing really upsets me, because there are sexual predators in every industry, not just the video game industry, obviously, and false allegations of sexual assault hurt women. They hurt actual victims of crimes, of sexual assault, of rape, of whatever, of any kind of abuse. When there are false allegations leveled at people for social status, for whatever the reason may be, this hurts everybody. It hurts an innocent man or woman or whoever's being accused, and it casts doubt on everybody else who has legitimate crimes to report, hopefully to the police. Although I know that's not always easy. It's not always easy to report a crime to the police. Although I feel like if you're going to go to Twitter, you might as well go to the police, because it's not easy to. Here's the thing: it's not easy for victims of sexual assault to talk about that. It's not easy to be public about it. It's not easy to tell your loved ones about it. It's a very difficult thing. So I understand why it's hard to talk to the police. But if it's going to go up on Twitter, you would hope that it would be something that would be addressed with law enforcement. That's neither here nor there. I won't make a huge long video about this right now because I want to talk with Chris and I want to talk. I want to dig into this a little bit more. Hopefully, figure out a little bit more of what went down. I don't know what I'm going to be able to discover about that because I know a lot of these things that happen behind closed doors. There's usually a deal made of some kind, but. Yeah, you know, I'm wondering what the gaming press will do. When I reported about this, I wrote an article called "Video Game Writer Chris Avellone Breaks Silence, Files Libel Suit Against Accusers." And, you know, I talked about what he said at the time, how he contradicted what they claimed. And a blog post he wrote about the reaction in the press, including this one at The Gamer, of course. He highlighted this one at The Gamer by Sean Murray. In it, Murray writes, Carissa went on to say that she witnessed Avellone use the same tactics on far younger women. She was in her late 20s at the time, and even regrets setting her best friend up with Avellone later on. Eventually, Avellone's drunkenness combined with his predatory behavior got him blacklisted from several conventions. Other Twitter followers also chimed in to confirm their stories thanks to the Me Too era. They mentioned that he's been working on Dying Light 2, which of course he was canned from. So do you think Sean Murray and The Gamer will retract and apologize now that the women who accused Chris Avellone in the first place, the only women who accused him, have made a public statement, signed a statement saying that he never did any such thing, to their knowledge has never done that to anyone, and that everything they said was misconstrued and not true. Everything they said. They our words have been misinterpreted to suggest specific allegations of misconduct. Let's see those words again. Chris Avellone is an abusive, abrasive, conniving sexual predator. He got me blackout drunk. He pounced on me. Misconstrued, eh? Look, I don't want to stir the pot. I'm glad that this has come to light. You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? That's the problem. Once this shit's broken, once you destroy a reputation, it just doesn't come back together. When the gaming press smeared when they smeared the producer of Hogwarts Legacy, it doesn't even matter who he was. The story, the narrative around this producer, who was not a public figure, is that he was a far right-wing Nazi type, and that now Nazis and fascists created Hogwarts Legacy. That's the crazy narrative that's built up when you start telling lies. And in the press, as a journalist, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to get to the bottom of things. You're supposed to tell the truth. You're supposed to at least try to find the truth. You're supposed to be cautious of telling, of spreading rumors as though they were true. And if it is a rumor that you're reporting on, you should make sure that you let people know that it's a rumor. I sometimes report on rumors about, I don't know, the PlayStation Plus games for next month. Pretty harmless stuff, really. But I still make sure that I talk about it, that it's a rumor or a leak, that it's not necessarily true. It's amazing to me that people have been so careless with something as big and as damaging as accusations of sexual assault. So, I am going to look into this further when it's not, closing in on, midnight. And I am going to have another piece or another video. I'm going to write something up about this. This seems like a big deal to me. Obviously, I think that a great deal of good has come from the Me Too movement. I think it's good that some really bad sexual predators have been caught. I think it's good that some organizations and some companies have had their sexist, abusive cultures blown out. I think there's a lot more work to be done, but I think that we can't just say, oh, well, there's going to be casualties, there's going to be false allegations, there's going to be innocent people whose lives are destroyed in the process. That's not good. That's not right. That's not moral. You don't you don't try to achieve something good at the expense of innocence along the way. That's just not, I just don't believe that that's right. So as much as I think we do need to have a reckoning, and there has been one, and some bad people have been put away, and we have to stay vigilant so that a lot of these creepy bad assholes don't find themselves in positions of power, which I think there's some confirmation bias involved, or some status bias, I don't know. But at the same time, we have to be vigilant that, liars and people looking to play the victim or to gain social status or whatever the reasons they do this, don't get away with it. And we can't just, there's this conflict, this tension, created when you say believe women, but also, innocent until proven guilty. There is a tension there, right? Both can be good. You want to believe women, but you also have to maintain this idea that it's innocent until proven guilty. I know in the court of public opinion, that doesn't apply. It's not the court of law. But I think as individuals, as people, as a culture, we would be wise to not rush to judgment, to look at evidence, to take things seriously, and not just hop on the social media bandwagon because it's the popular thing to do, but because we want to feel righteous or whatever else. People's lives are at stake. Real people's lives. So anyways, there it is. I have linked to Chris Avellone's blog post in the comments. As you can see, I have posted the image of this statement in this video, so you can read it yourself. This is directly from Avellone's law firm. I received it from the lawyer. I can verify its authenticity, and this is not the last chapter on this story, but it certainly is an exciting twist. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's keep doing good work. Peace.